Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalists, and yet again another video where things are not what they seem. Folks, stay for this video. There's something here for you to learn, absolutely no doubt about that. We have this couple, this is or was Christian Ambuncelli, the man here on the left. Here on the right we have Courtney Clenny, 26-year-old Instagram model influencer, I guess, 2 million followers. Good for her. She was doing well. She was doing good economically. So was him. They were both doing well with their influencer social media thing going on. But one of them made a fatal mistake that cost him his life, right? And it's not, who you would immediately assume it would be in a toxic, dangerous relationship. It's actually him. And this is how this story goes.
A newly released video allegedly shows OnlyFans model Courtney Clenny attacking her boyfriend Christian Obamselli in an elevator on February 21st. The video allegedly shows Clenny repeatedly pushing her boyfriend and trying to pull his hair. The man identified as Obamselli appears to push her back in an apparent attempt to block her attacks. 2 months later, on April 3rd, police responded to an emergency call from Clenny. When they arrived at her Miami condo, police say they found Obamselli stabbed in the shoulder. He was taken to a nearby hospital and later died from his injuries. Clenny's attorney insists the stabbing was...
So, guys, 3 crucial lessons in this video. This stuff that I address in the channel all the time. This stuff I talk about in street survival skills, where I address using knives, guns, hands, improvised weapon for self-defense. All of that here for you guys that are interested. The stuff that I explain here repeats itself time and again in all of these videos that I analyze over the years. So believe me, this is the kind of thing you want to learn so as to avoid this kind of situation. It's not about only using weapons for self-defense. It's also about understanding the context. It's about awareness. This brings me to point number 1 that I want to make, which is always avoid the fight as much as you can. Don't get into fights if you can avoid it. This is crucial. You're not going to be seeing cool videos and movies about people that avoided fights. You're not going to be having great stories to tell about, well, yeah, this time I could have gone into this horrible fight, but I didn't, right? But it's by far the best thing you can do. Avoid the fight. Avoid the fight whenever you can. Even if someone gets in your face, he said insulting you, and you go boom, you clock him and you knock him out, right? Well, you won the fight. Well, maybe you didn't win a damn thing. Maybe that guy fell when you got him in a good hook on the jaw. Falls, he cracks his head, as so many times happens, and he dies. And he insulted you, but you're the one that hit him first. So you're the one that assaulted him and killed him. You're going to be paying for that. That's not going to be a free ride. Even if he falls and he just injures himself and he ends up with some kind of disability, even if he was a complete scumbag, you're the one that hit him first. You're the one that are going to be paying for that for a very long time, probably for the rest of his life. Yeah, that's going to be a decision that you made in a second, with a hot-headed decision that you'll pay for a very long time, okay? Number 2, which is understanding the context, awareness. Again, the kind of stuff that I explain in my books. It is so important to understand your surroundings in terms of awareness when out in the street. Also, awareness in terms of where you are right now in life. Who's around you? Who's living in your freaking home with you? This is the point that he failed and ended up costing his life, okay? He failed to understand the risk because he thought, I'm a guy, I'm bigger, I'm stronger. Apparently, Christian Ambuncelli played rugby in university. He apparently seemed to be quite good. Rugby players, strong guys, stronger than your average dude. If you play rugby, you're stronger than the average guy that doesn't play rugby. He's also taller, he's bigger, he's stronger. He's not enormous, but he's definitely stronger than this little woman, right? And it is obvious by these images that you have a couple things going on here. And he fails to understand that. The first thing that is quite obvious is that she's violent. She's aggressive. She's a person that is trying to physically hurt him. And hurt him as bad as she can. Now, she cannot hurt him very bad because she's physically smaller, more petite. She barely reaches his head. He tries to hit him over the head.
Elevator on February 21st. The video allegedly shows Clenny
he tries to
pushing
pull
her
him
boyfriend
down,
and
grab
trying
his
to
head.
pull his hair. The man,
right? he tries to do all of that. The other thing that is quite obvious is that this guy is not a violent person. It's, a violent guy would react in a more violent way when being hit like that. Even if someone is not physically hurting you very much, even just being slapped and hit, it just brings out something very primal in most people, which is, I'm being hurt. I'm trying, this other person is trying to attack me and hurt me physically, so I defend myself. This man is just smiling. Right?
And identified as Obamseli appears to push her back in an apparent attempt to block her attacks.
As she comes after him yet again, he just shoves her away, man. He just pushes her, and she goes back because of the weight difference, because of the strength difference. This is the fatal mistake that he makes. He thinks that because he is physically so much stronger than her, that he's not at risk. But as we all know, especially those that do this in a serious, manner for a number of years, it's not the weapon, it's not the tool, it's what's in here. A gun, it's an inanimate object. Guns don't kill people. It's actually someone using. Knives, they don't do anything on their own. But it's what's in the people's head. He underestimated the threat. He thought that because she's physically smaller, petite, not as strong as I am, I'm okay. I'll just put up with her nonsense. He didn't understand that he was dealing with a narcissistic psychopath. She was uploading pictures the same day he died, and the following day as well. She is, a narcissistic psychopath, just like the previous woman. She just thinks about herself, and she couldn't care less. I don't want to get into all of the, some of the stuff I read about some of the statements both of these people made and how sick and unhealthy that relationship was. She obviously, considered him more of like an accessory for her lifestyle than a real person. She dehumanized this man to a point that people maybe don't quite understand how that worked. For her, she was just one more of her accessories in her lifestyle and influencer bullshit, gag that she had going on. Number 3, never underestimate these things. A knife can be an extremely dangerous tool, even in the hands. This happens all the time. And you don't have to be a ninja, you don't have to be a samurai, you don't have to be a trained Filipino martial arts, guru. No, you can't be a little naked Instagram women and just go at it with intent, and you will cause a lot of harm. She says that she threw the knife at him. Like a ninja style. Threw it and oh man, and you got stabbed. Here they say that he was stabbed in the shoulder. I don't know if that's true or not. Could be. Depends on the kind of knife. Right, you could have like a big, K-bar knife. This is my original World War II K-bar knife. One of my most prized knives. This is a very effective knife for combat. It was not intended originally as one. This was intended originally, this knife geometry was from a hunting knife. Yes, of course, the story, we all know it, or we have videos dedicated to that, but this was not originally intended as a fighting knife. In fact, the more traditional fighting knife would be a narrow, slim blade, more for penetration, but this has great penetration. This is very wide. You don't need any kind of special knife for having a very dangerous weapon. Even something like this can be terribly effective as well. Apparently, we have a stab wound. Based on what I'm reading, it was not in the shoulder. It was in the chest area. Either way, it could have been in the shoulder. If it goes through a lung collapses, internal bleeding, and he dies. Could have been. If she used a big chef knife, which this woman, based on what I'm seeing, I see a person that is more than willing, more than capable of going for a kitchen knife, picking up the biggest kitchen knife she has in her drawer and using that against this man. Probably what she did. I don't have 100% fact on that, but good chance that's exactly what she did. Could have been a smaller knife as well. Doesn't matter. Usually 30-40% more lethal than a slash. Slashing with a knife, it's going to be bleeding a lot. Usually stabbing is where you have some of the more chance of it being a lethal wound. Folks, this is the stuff I want to share with you in this video. It's about avoiding this. It's about awareness, understanding when your life is at risk, even when you're underestimating and trying to convince yourself, this guy seems to be a nice guy. The people apparently say that he smiled a lot, that he was a happy, cheerful dude, and he found himself with this woman and didn't understand how dangerous she was. folks, for all of this, street survival skills. And for the economic aspect of survival and preparedness, how important given everything going on, Surviving the Economic Collapse, my book on my experience surviving the economic collapse of Argentina, over 1,000 reviews in Amazon, and still, getting those from you guys, which I really appreciate. See you in our next video. Take care.